So Larry, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, you're a new ALUS participant in our community.
Yes, I'm Larry Zieger. I farm in the Warburg area, and I run 675 steers on grass throughout the summertime.
Right, so you've got a little experience managing cattle.
Yes, I do, yeah.
Yeah, and you were saying how important it is to have some kind of off-site watering.
It's exactly, I mean, when you've got clean water, your cattle do way better. And they gain better. They're not messing up the dugout by walking in it, and your dugouts last longer. They don't get tramped in, and it's really important to have off-site watering because your cattle, the water's always clean.
You have a few different systems.
Actually, yes. Over my Tomahawk pasture through Parkland County, I put in through the ALUS program 3 solar pumps in my dugouts. I fenced my dugouts out and put them in. If I hadn't have, I would have ran out of water this summer before I ran out of grass because the dugouts were low. The cattle would have went tramping in there. They'd been up to their bellies in mud. They wouldn't have done well because the water was all muddy. So when I saw the ad in the newspaper about the ALUS program, I phoned a lady Jennifer at Parkland County. She came out, they examined all of the sites and went to the board, got approval. So I fenced them out, put in the solar pumps, and it was the best thing that I ever did. And then, of course, I contacted you about this site here because without this dam being fenced out, there's no way that I could use it. This pasture, there's one small dugout a little bit farther off, but it was so shallow that if I wouldn't have had this site here for watering, I probably couldn't have used this whole pasture throughout the summer.
Yeah, it was dammed up quite some time ago. Yeah.
It was dammed many years ago, but last summer was one of those great big rains. There was so much water came in, the beaver had dammed up the overflow, so it washed the dam out. And it's about a 16-foot drop there, so I couldn't let the cattle come in here, even though there was still water. If they got fighting and one got pushed over the edge, if either broken legs or else they're out into a solid bush quarter, which there's no way I could get them out.
Yeah, so Larry, you were also mentioning how clean the water is in the trough compared to livestock.
Oh, it is. Like I said, when you look here, you can see right down to the bottom, you can see every little bug crawling around and everything like that. And the cattle just do better. They have nice, clean water.
Right.
And like I said, with all my pastures, I've got a total of 6 dugouts fenced out. I've got solar pumping units, and I've got 2 wells that have solar pumps on them. There's only one pasture that I rent where the cattle have to drink out of the creeks and dugouts. And another thing about keeping your cattle out of the dugouts, I have a lot less foot rot in my pastures where they come up and drink out of a trough. My pastures that have, 2 of them that I rent, they've got a creek running through them or a dugout. And I tend to find I've got more foot rot in those pastures than I do in my other pastures, just for the fact here they're like the ground is dry. They're not walking in the mud or anything like that.
Well, and another benefit from ALUS, from the ALUS perspective, is that you are protecting the natural areas as well. This is quite a natural area you have here. Since the cattle haven't been in, we can see lots of trees.
It's a win-win. It's a win for the farmer by having good water for his cattle. And I guess it's a win for nature that things grow back in again.
Yeah, because actually those natural benefits that nature provides, that's for all of us.
It is, yes.
Yeah, and a lot of times farmers are managing that. So
yep.
That's where ALUS
farmers are probably the best stewards of the land that there is, because without their land in good shape, they don't make a living. When you get your solar system, of course, you put up your solar panel, your batteries are in that black box behind it. Then there's 75 feet of cable attached to the pump and a 2-inch hose that is attached to the pump. So you put that out in the water, and they give you about 100 feet of rope to pull it out to the middle.
So this is fairly simple to manage, this solar pump system?
It is. It all comes as a complete package. The only thing you have to do is just buy your trough. Like when I phoned my supplier, Darren Glubish, that's where I got my solar pumps from. I told him what I needed. He puts the package together. He figures out the size of solar panel that you're going to need. And there's specs as to how high a lift you can go with the pump and how far you can pump at, and have your maximum. And the packages I put together, because I took 4 pumps from him this year, and actually I bought them at last year's price yet. The package was $2,100, not counting the tire for the waterer. Then of course your fencing, in this case the panels, and ALUS pays for half of that. They also pay half of your labor, half of your tractor to install for the post pounder. So it's a really good program. Basically, half of your costs are paid. And all you did, like with you, I faxed or emailed you a quote as to what I thought it was going to cost. You came out and examined, had a look at the facility, and the same with the Tomahawk. Jennifer came out, take it to the board, and the board approves it. I get a call back saying everything's approved. Then you go ahead and put everything up together. When you're all done, send your invoices in, and then they cut you a check and send you a check.
Yeah, so it went fairly smooth.
Oh, it was a real easy process. Real easy process,
Excellent.
yeah.
Glad to hear that.
And in fact, I've told quite a few people about it, and well, I think the one contacted you the day that we were out here.
Yes.
And I've told other people about it too, that if the best way to have good cattle, keep your dugouts in good shape, is to go through the program. And especially where they're paying half of the costs, that's a real big bonus.
In our community, we're looking at more of the natural areas.
Well, actually, in parkland, in my court, there's about 5 acres that's real boggy.
Oh, yeah.
And they approved me to fence that out and put that under.